Well, this is only the beginning of what looks to be, to say the least, a very interesting political cycle. To get more in-depth perspective, earlier this month, I spoke with NBC's political director and Meet the Press moderator, Chuck Todd. So Senator Cruz was back in Wichita Falls a couple months back, and we obviously know the outcome of that race. In your opinion, had he not realigned with the president, do you think that could have possibly led into what we're getting into, seeing Texas turning a little purple?
You know, I think I could backseat drive Beto O'Rourke's campaign a million ways when it comes to Ted Cruz. I thought the one area where I was surprised he did not exploit was the fact that Ted Cruz was an original never-Trumper of sorts, right? He put himself out there on that convention floor. I am surprised to this day that that speech wasn't a star in television ads. A more traditional opponent would have probably put Cruz in an even tougher spot with President Trump. And if I were to backseat anything, that is to me the biggest. Beto had his reasonings. He wanted to run a specific type of race, and that was what he was going to do, almost to a point of stubbornness. But it was sort of surprising that they never once tried to exploit that, to me, the most exploitable aspect of Cruz. And it does call into question in my head, did Beto overperform the average Democrat because he went around the state and because he animated, or did he overperform because Ted Cruz is somebody that is a very polarizing figure? I think we're going to find out the generic vote a lot better with John Cornyn running for re-election. I think John Cornyn wins by less than 5, and then we're going to realize, oh, this is for real, up and down. This isn't just a Trump phenomenon or a Cruz phenomenon. I think there's still a part of me that wonders if the single-digit loss by Hillary Clinton in 16 was more Trump-related than demographics, and ditto with Cruz. To me, 2020 will tell us for sure if Texas truly is moving itself into the battle.
And what do you think it will take, because we know where we are right now with President Trump, possible impeachment, what do you think it will take for people to finally say, okay, enough's enough, we have to flip the narrative like we did when we put the president in office?
Well, look, I think this is going to be at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a campaign that's a referendum on Donald Trump's presidency, right? And is it on Donald? Let me split that. Is it a referendum on his presidency, or is it a referendum on his character? If it's a referendum on his character, I think Democrats think that that's how they win this White House. If it's a referendum on his presidency, well, then all of a sudden, tell me where the economy is in 6 months. Tell me what these tariff threats, do they have the impact that they have? And I think we know it's going to be a referendum on Trump. Can he make it a referendum on his presidency? Democrats want to make it a referendum on him, the person. They tried to make it a referendum on him, the person, 4 years ago. Much harder when you're a challenger. As a sitting president, it's very hard not to have it become a referendum on you. It's a tough thing to do. George W. Bush made it a choice election. Barack Obama with Romney made it a choice election, but it took them a while to get there. And it wasn't easy for them. They both, in some ways, narrowly pulled that out. They were much more nimble, I would argue, than Trump is. So we'll see.